It was the deep, numbing sensation in the tips of his fingers that woke him. His eyes began to flicker open. His vision was blurred as he began to properly feel again. The elements had been harsh on his unprotected skin, which he only realised now. He was lacking any proper clothing to protect him other than rags. He looked to his left and right as the world began to come back to life around him. His arms were stretched out wide either side of him. It was only when he tried to move an unbearable agony shot down both his arms that he realised he'd been strapped to some kind of crudely made cross like the Lord and Saviour before. He was being treated like some kind of heathen, as if he was worshipping some cruel false god rather than the people who had put him in such a position. His eyes had now refocused on his surroundings, and it was then that he noticed he hadn't been strapped but instead nailed to the cross. The crude iron nails were deep within the palms of his hands and wrists, yet the pain was barely noticeable unless he tried to move. His eyes weakly raised up to look around. He had to fight with every ounce of strength God had left remaining to him to just be able to barely keep them open. Almost immediately he noticed the steady trickle of blood that was escaping his wounds. By the Lord, how much had he lost already? The nails were dark with rust. His wounds would no doubt suffer grievous infections. But no, he would be dead long before that. Looking beyond his own crucifix, he realised that he wasn't the only one who was hung up. A large circle of them had been arranged. He didn't know how many of them were there, but it was far too many. Dozens, all of his fellow monks, his brothers. What kind of false god-worshipping savage would do such a thing to God's servants? Then he remembered as to why. Many years ago now, before he had been born, these heathens and pagans had landed in the kingdom of the Croats. Back then, the priests had dismissed it as something that would be easily beaten. Something God had sent to test them and that would not be allowed to spread. Now their false faith had spread, and they had even taken and sacked the holy city. These abominations, how could God ever unleash something such as that on them? He had always been true, never broken his vows, and yet here he was, dying. His congealed eyes moved slowly to reveal a mass of Vikings before him. He looked down at the so-called Norsemen. There seemed to be many of them, and clearly the ones at the centre of the gathering were of great importance. Their clothes were fine garments of silk, probably stolen and taken from dead folk who were innocent of any crime. He murmured passively, "Saint Peter, guide me." He looked down to see two children no older than 10, with some kind of paint lining their eyes, tugging at his leg. Once he noticed them, the children ran away, laughing and screaming. Was he just some sort of entertaining spectacle to them? In front of him, slightly to his right, lay a pyre stacked almost like a wicker man he had heard horrifying tales about. He saw shriveled men and feeble women strapped to the pyre as the blazing light crawled closer to them, prowling like a cat from the African plains. The screams made when one was licked or consumed by the flames were met with thunderous cheer. He could not comprehend such cruelty, such barbarity. It sickened him. The man that lit the pyre seemed to be the leader of the ceremony, a man painted head to toe in a black and white paste, his eyes glowing a deep crimson. He was in hell on earth. The painted man moved onto a bull, black and bound in muscle, its horns banded with gold. It was kept in place by ropes held by young boys garbed in silken robes. The painted man cut the bull's throat. They treat animals kinder than they do us good Christians. Why, Father, why? The priest whispered in a ragged prayer. The blood of the sacrificial bull was collected in a stone bowl, the contents glistening an iridescent purple, cut through with red dancing in the pyre's firelight. The painted man flicked blood into the crowd before him, hitting each of the men in front of him in this culmination of heathens. He began raving of his false gods. Ever since the Northmen had grown so powerful, the priest had devoted some of his time to studying their language and culture. Anything that he could learn from the many refugees who had fled into their lands from the Norse tide that was conquering all in its path. All-Father, bless this congregation with wisdom. Tyr, bless the victor with steel. At his words, the crowd laid their swords at the base of the stone step. Njord, bless him with salt and sail. Some lesser-painted men lay bowls of salt and water at their bare feet and washed them in some ritualistic madness. Bless him with glory, blood, and conquest. A huge roar went up at these words. The priest could feel his strength leaving him and his eyes getting heavy. Fighting to keep them open, he heard in the background as his ears rang, the crowds chanting, Odin, Thor, Tyr, Freya, and Hel, bless them with power. As the chanting died down, the ceremony seemed to be complete, and a new one began to take place. One man seemed to command them, older than most present. Long, wild white hair fell beyond his shoulders, and a great braided beard hung below his chest. He wore a crown studded with rubies, his arms covered from wrist to elbow in heavy bangles of gold, silver and bronze. Valuables from many monasteries seemed to have been gathered here, smashed and hacked to pieces to get at the glittering gemstones and precious metals. Holy objects defiled in such a disgusting way to satisfy their unquenchable greed. It horrified him to even think what they had done of the nuns and the youths who were there. He tried to murmur some sort of protest, some sort of defiance against them. Yet all that came was a weak grunt, one barely filled with any life, and not even a single heathen had noticed, nor any of his dying holy brothers. He continued to observe the gathering as he couldn't bear to look at his dying brothers or his own approaching death. He was surrounded by weak grunts and murmurs of prayers as they faded out one by one. God welcome them into heaven and release them from their earthly confinement. May God have mercy on his soul. May he soon release him of this abysmal suffering. At least he had solace in the fact that these men below him would never see past the pearly gates. The pagans at the centre seemed to be discussing something. He wasn't quite sure what, but it clearly caused some rift and tension between them. All around the centre gathering of what looked like the Norsemen lords, there were uncountable lesser men, indulging in all kinds of horrendous and sinful acts. He could see a huge group of bearded and mailed men gathered in a square, shouting and cheering, drinking and feasting. At the centre of the square stood two men, Italian men of the city guard he knew. They had both been stripped down naked and handed swords to fight one another for the heathen's own enjoyment. Handfuls of gold and silver were being exchanged. No doubt the savages were placing bets on which of the weakened soldiers would win this barbaric fight to the death. The younger of the Italian men managed to strike a killing blow to his opponent's chest. The victor collapsed to his knees in tears. Half the crowd erupted in roars of victory, as the other half spat and cursed furiously. A huge man came to the centre laughing deeply and lifted the man up by his sword hand, thrusting his sword into the air in victory as the crowds cheered. Then, as quick as a flash, he thrust his own dagger into the man's throat and let him fall to the floor to the mass enjoyment of the crowds. He looked to his right where he could see many women who had been taken captive, screaming and praying in horror. The savages forced themselves upon them and took their spoils. Other men slept, ate, drank and sat in conversation. Suddenly, the great bearded man shouted and banged his tankard upon a table. He assumed he was calling for everyone's attention as everything fell silent. The man began to speak in a rough, deep voice, almost a snarl, and others replied. He needed to hear what they were saying. Some word or another he understood. The word for king was raised a few times. So was that of lord, or jarl as they called it. As well, he could understand a few names that were repeatedly brought up. Aid, Sigbjorn, Gunnar, Asbjorn. Asbjorn he knew was the name of their former leader, who had brought the demons here in the first place. That name had spread far and wide as a symbol of terror throughout the Mediterranean. They seemed to be discussing, or rather arguing about who would be their new king. Yet, he had also heard that the man they called Sigbjorn, who sat at the centre, was their current king and son of the mighty Asbjorn, founder of Sapphireland. This Sigbjorn was an old, sickly-looking man. He didn't seem to have the strength to stand. His long hair and beard were dyed a dark blackish red with dried blood. He'd looked to have taken a grievous wound to the head during the battle, as half his face was bound in blood-soaked cloth. Even despite clearly being at death's door and his voice little more than a fading whisper, he made for a terrifying sight. His eyes were filled with madness, a depth of rage that must fuel his savagery. His arms were branded in gold, and his bloodthirsty blade leaned against his legs. Clearly he still demanded respect, even in his current state, as all were quiet when he talked. He spoke of a son not being worthy of his father's crown. So the son would not inherit, he thought. What a strange tradition. The son was the clear successor. Had they even strayed so far from who God granted power and who he didn't? Then he remembered something that he had read about, from a priest who had escaped what these savages called thraldom. Back in ancient times, in the frozen lands from which these men came, they would choose a successor, based on power, bravery and reputation, rather than merely giving it to the son. It made little sense to him. Would that not just make war happen indefinitely in the future between them? He hoped that it would, and that it would bring about their destruction. The important men below, whom he now assumed to be the Jarls, began to split into groups, with them seeming to have found their favourites from amongst themselves. The clear favourite was the tall white-haired man from before, with the deep voice, who he thought was the possible brother of the king from the few words that he understood. Many men had gathered around him, it seemed, with them casting gold coins as some sort of voting system, just as the cardinals had done with the Pope when Rome was not under the rule of heathens. It seemed clear that there would be multiple rounds, but to him it seemed that there was a clear frontrunner already. This son of the abomination that had been Asbjorn the Butcher, who had the hubris and arrogance to name one of his sons after himself. Asbjorn the Younger they called him, although he was very clearly one of the oldest among them. But as the cheers went up, his eyes began to drift as he felt the last bit of life draining from within him. He looked up a last time and noticed that all his fellow holy men had passed, and that he was the only one still living. He was the last. May God have mercy on our souls. And then the life faded from him with one last ragged breath.
Asbjorn is weak. He has known castles and comforts his whole life. He knows not of raids, of war, of battle. Why should we follow a boy of the green fields? There is only one here I would follow, named for his sire, the man to carve a kingdom from the Croats, brother to the current king who has expanded our lands and granted us such wealth. Asbjorn King. He who led so many of us in battle. He who raided the land of pharaohs of old. He who holds the holy city for Odin and Tyr. He is a man of sword and sea. He would be my king.
His brother would make a fine king, it was true. He might not be the warrior Sigbjorn once was, but his military mind rivaled his own. He had proven to be able to lead his men and win wars without the help of the kingdom. Recently, he had taken the islands of Sardinia for his own, but now another of his Jarls stepped forward.
Asbjorn is a mighty warrior and a great man. He might have been a good king 30 years ago, but now he is old. His deeds are great but long in the past. I instead would follow his son, Sigbjorn Erikson. He has the military mind of his grandfather and father. The coasts of the Mediterranean know his name, a fearsome raider and a siege engineer. No lands are safe when in his sight. The gods themselves have granted him inhuman strength and power, and he has been faithful to those same gods. He has travelled to the holy sites in Frisia and in Sweden. He will be a long reign, a reign blessed by the gods, full of plunder and glory.
Fair points made by the Count Gomagoj. It wouldn't be good to have another succession so soon after his own. Striker would ensure a lengthy reign. He hadn't yet made a name for himself in war, but his military talent and physical traits made him a man people could follow. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Raiders of the Adriatic, and I hope that you enjoyed that much longer than usual introduction, which we obviously learnt from the fact that we obviously knew already in the last episode, is that Sigbjorn is literally on death's door. He's gonna die any day now, any second now, and as you know, in the last couple of episodes we did change to elective, so we've had that massive meeting where all of the Jarls have voted for who will be the next king after King Sigbjorn, and it's looking highly likely that it's going to be Jarl Asbjorn, our brother of Rome. So before we get into the episode, and today's episode, what I'm going to do is we're going to be doing a lot of overviewing and just having a little look around the realm. We're going to check out all of the Jarls and Counts and all of your custom characters and what they've been up to. It's been a long time since we last did it, and a lot of you have been asking in the Discord as well as in the comment sections if we could have a little overview episode, so we will do that. We'll check all of those characters out, see how they're getting on, look at their heirs and how promising they are, and see how their lands are prospering and what they've been up to, basically. We will be doing that very soon. First, we'll check out the two new custom courtiers who have been added for this episode, who are, if we can find them, we've got Mordecai, who is a very, very impressive steward, which is awesome because we actually are in desperate need of a steward. He's temperate, just, stubborn, which are all awesome for stewardship, which is perfect. He's Midas touched, inapetic, one-eyed, scarred, and an administrator. So we've got some great traits there for his stewardship, which is why he's got that 23 stewardship. I think we'll probably make him, to be fair, our steward straight away, as we are in decent need of a steward. And let's find him a marriage. Have we got anyone with some inheritable traits? If we have, we'll of course go for that. We've got our niece Sigrid. She's a little bit older than he is. We've got this girl here who's Norse and pretty, but we also have someone here who's intelligent. Oh, she's 29 though, so maybe let's go on age. She might be a little bit too old. We'll probably go with this Polish girl here, who's got the pretty trait by the looks of it. I think that's probably... Oh, no, we do have someone there with a beauty. Oh, she's 28, though. Yeah, we'll go with Anna here. Send proposal, sorted. And then our other custom character is Canute, who is deceitful, zealous, diligent. He's an insightful thinker, a herbalist. He's a renowned physician. He's rakish, he's an adventurer, and he is scarred. We've already pinned him. We will find him a match as well now. How old is he? He's 23. He can go with Margareta then, the other one that was left over, and that's a marriage sorted for him. We do have one Jarldom that we need to give out. We'll give that out before he dies, else it will obviously go to one of his sons anyway. So let's give that to... We'll go with Mordecai, because I want to actually use him as our steward, so if we do land him, at least then we'll be able to do that. So let's grant him the landed titles, and we'll give him the chiefdom of Anacona, which will also give him the Jarldom of Anacona to go with that. Perfect. And he became our vassal. Oh, wow. He changes him into some very smart and nice blue silk clothes there. Very nice. And what are the other... There's two titles that can be created, but I think we do actually have another Jarldom, don't we? But I think the Jarldom that we've got, which is the Jarldom of Sirimia, we actually don't own the county for that. The county is owned, I think, by Jarl Gunn, yes. So if we give it to someone else, will he instantly get the county? Or I'm not sure how that's going to work. I think... I might just give it to Sven, to be honest. Our son Sven is pretty decent, very decent. Then again, I think he might be better served to stay in court, to be honest. Do you know what? We'll keep it for now and we'll see who it goes to. I'm going to unpause because I'm pretty sure Sigbjorn is going to die very, very quick. So we'll let him die before we do go into the overviews and look into what the Jarls and the Counts and our Dukes, Duchesses, etc. have all been doing and how their heirs are looking. As we know, Italy is almost collapsed, but we may want to help Italy actually in the future, considering that they're actually Norse now, which is very interesting. French, Norse, which is also interesting. Greetings, King Sigbjorn of Safirland. I have no choice to accept your conditions for my release. Farewell. Perfect. And I'm very surprised that Sigbjorn is yet to die.
I did test it a couple of times, just on pause to see if he would die or not, and he died pretty much instantly every time. To the impeccable King Sigbjorn of Safirland, I accept your marriage proposal. Wow, she looks terrifying. A very scary looking girl. We have low control in Thermo. We're first in line to inherit the Yardom of Anacona. And there we go, we have died. I knew that was coming. King Sigbjorn of Safirland has joined the feast in Valhalla at age 61. He died from his wounds, a paragon of valour and gallantry. He will always be remembered for his cordial and just nature in face of all odds. King Asbjorn ascends to the throne, a generous man. Many hope that his good heart will not lead him to empty the realm's coffers on futile causes. Well, it's been a good reign, Sigbjorn. You've done well. You carried on Asbjorn's legacy, and you also managed to do his dying wish to avenge his daughter and your sister Freya. So we had a good reign as Sigbjorn, but now we're going to pause, and we've got a lot to sort out as our new player, King Asbjorn II, 60 years old, so there's a good chance we're not going to play as him for long, and our manpower is improved by 1,200 men instantly, which is awesome. We've been behaving greedily. Right, so what have we got? We're arbitrary, generous, gregarious. We're a skilled tactician, a military engineer, a holy warrior. Nice. Hail, an eager reveller. We're a murderer. Oh, who did you murder, Asbjorn? We're a strategist, and we are a pilgrim. Who did he murder? Was murdered. Martha. Wasn't Martha our bride? Oh, so he killed... No, his father's concubine. So he killed his father's concubine. Interesting. Well, that's interesting to know, because we know that she died under suspicious circumstances, but it must have now be well known. We will have a look at Striker, who was his son, who was the second favourite in, obviously, that vote, who is very impressive. He will make a good king. He's very impressive with his 20 martial, an absolute beast of a man. But, yeah, we will now sort out some of these things then. So what have we got to sort out? Primary heir of the wrong dynasty. We need to nominate a successor. We have available lifestyle perks, so let's have a look. So he's already filled out strategist, and he's very close to filling out overseer. So, yeah, we may as well go for that then and can try and continue this line out. Why not? May as well stick to that. We are above our domain limit. Wow, by quite a lot. So what lands do you have? Let's just clear that for now. So, yeah, we've got the Kingdom of Safirland, the Kingdom of Romanga, the Kingdom of... We've got the Kingdom of Venice. Okay, interesting. I didn't realise we had the Kingdom of Venice. It must have been created upon Sigbjorn's death. We have the Yardom of Latium, the Yardom of Sardinia, the Yardom of Asbjornborg, the Chiefdom of Roma, Chiefdom of Galora, and the... Right, so we've got a lot to give away. We will give Sardinia away. Do you know what? I might give Sardinia to his son for now, Count Striker. So let's do that. Let's grant titles. And we will give you... Can we not actually give you the Yardom of Sardinia? No, we can't. Ah, because of the succession rules. Okay, do you have a brother? You do. Dag, who is terrible. So we won't be giving that to him. If we can't give it to you, that's a shame. Can we give Striker any other lands? Is there any other titles that we can give him? We can give him Latium and Rome, but I don't really want to do that. We can give him the Chiefdom of Thermo, which is where is this? It's over here near Rome. Nah, I don't think I want to do that, to be honest. So we do need to give these lands away. Well, we could give one of them to our other new custom courtier, Canute. Let's have a look. Where are you, Canute? Canute. Well, you should still be in our court, because we should get everybody from the two courts now in our court, shouldn't we? But I can't find him. I'm looking for that weird haircut that he's got. There he is. Let's grant titles. We'll give you... Where is... I'm guessing that's over on Sardinia. Yes, it is. Could give you Sardinia. And then the Jarl... We'll just give you the chiefdom for now. There we go. So that sorts out... That gets us under the domain limit for now, which is perfect. And we can have a proper think about who we want to grant these lands to. Who are you at war with, Asbjorn? Holy War for the... Okay, that's interesting. So you're actually trying to expand into North Africa, which is very interesting. Wow. Interesting. We're going to get some lands down in Africa. Betrothed can marry. Who is it? It is our courtier. Okay, yep. Send proposal. Yep, we'll finish that off. Perfect. Empty council positions. Yeah, we'll have a look into our councils. You have no available spouse. Are we not married? Yes, we do have a wife, Queen Atsta, but for whatever reason we can't have her, so it's a shame. We'll have a look at the rest of the council, though. Our Chancellor. Who was the best Chancellor in our land again? I think it was Jarl Gunn, wasn't it? Yes, so we'll go with him. Aslak's pretty good as well, though. Our Steward is going to be our new guy, I'm guessing. Yes, Duke Mordecai, so we'll go with him. Our Marshal may actually be our son. It is our son, so we'll go with our son for that. And then Spymaster is... We've got Jarl Aid and Jarl Hofston. Ooh. It's always been Jarl Hofston, hasn't it? But then again, he's an elusive shadow. He's actually He's better at intrigue. Wow, he hates us. Why do you hate us so much? Short reign, 1 seat on the council. Well, that'll improve that. Then we'll get you on the council, Jarl Aid. Just to switch things up a bit. We've got our minor titles. For our cupbearer, then we'll go for Jarl Hofston. For our Master of Ships, we will go with Rasputin. We've already got our court champion, unless we've got somebody better for that role. No. Our tax collector. Do we have anyone better for that role? I don't think we do. No, not really. So we'll leave those as they are. Ah, our queen is our scold. That's probably why we can't use her then. We'll go with Jarl Aslak for that. And then we'll be able to use... No, you have no available spouse. We can't use our wife for some reason, which is interesting. But yes, let's go over these lands then. We'll start in Sardinia. So, in this county here, we obviously have Canute, who we have just landed. There's not much, really, to write home about him at present. Down south, we have Count Catil, who is a Norseman. I don't think he's anyone's custom character. He's got decent intrigue. Further down in south, we've got an Asatru Italian. Not a custom character, so there's not really much to look at there. And then next door to that, we've got Count Uberto, who is also Italian, but he has converted to the true faith, so that's good. Things are looking good over in Sardinia. We've obviously still got this area here, which we do need to land somebody in. Now coming into our Italian lands, we have this province here in Rome, which belongs to our son, so he does have some land. Obviously, in Spilito is where Kier's ancestors rule, who is just Jarl Bjorg, who is very young. All of her siblings... all of her siblings died of the bubonic plague. Who is her heir? Is she someone of a completely different family? I think... No, I think she is... No, she is part of the same family, so that's okay. So it's not going to go out the thing, but that's bad. Wow. Lots of them died from that. That is insane. Who are your vassals? Who do we have in these counties? We have... I don't think any of them are important custom characters. I think most of them are just Italians. Oh, no, we've got Chieftain Loki, who's our half-brother. So he's still about. He's got some land here. He's got several of his own children as well. Asbjorn, another Asbjorn, our nephew. Nothing too impressive about him, though, to be honest. Who else do we have down here? Chieftain Ivar, who is also our brother. So they both got lands in Italy, which is interesting. He's a berserker now, but wow, pretty decent stewardship. So I'm guessing he's probably going to be the steward of Spilito. And who is in this last plot of land? Queen Hermilda of Aquitaine. Interesting, so we've actually got the Queen of Aquitaine in our land. So, and then we've obviously got the Yardom of Anacona, but there's nothing to write home about that yet, because it's our new lord, so we don't really need to look at that. We've already looked over that. Benevento is obviously Aid's ancestors, who is Jarl Aid II, who, as we know, is very good at intrigue, our new spy master. Decent amount of manpower. He is involved in 2 wars, which is interesting. 4 daughters and a son, so at least he has got a son. Here's his heir. Impressive. Not too bad. Got an inheritable trait. Underneath his land is Napoli. Count Telir of Napoli. Frealundra, we have Count Igel, who's nothing really to write home about. He's decent in diplomacy, and then they also in this random bit of land over here that they shouldn't, which he has kept for himself. Down here we have Count Dorgil, who... Is he related to us? Yes, he is our nephew. Interesting. Nothing really that impressive. Decent marshal, I suppose, but he's 14, so it could be better. And then the Dubrovnik lands, they own some land over here, which is interesting. Jarl Bjorn II, who's Not got amazing stats here, but he has got some decent traits, such as Reaver and Berserker, Lustful, Just, Generous, so pretty decent. How is his son? Samundra. These are another custom character, so we will, of course, look at his heir. Yeah, not too bad, I suppose, for a 9-year-old. And they own this bit of land over here. Have they actually gifted that to someone? Yes, Chieftain Knut, who is a giant Berserker. Interesting. But his stats aren't overly impressive, to be honest. Where should we go to next? Let's start with Talir's ancestors' land. So Jarl Helston, who is 50 now. The guy who... I'm not sure if he's Asbjorn's son, because he looks so much like Asbjorn, it's ridiculous. But yeah, he's very decent in that intrigue. And he has got several sons, which is good. So let's have a look at his heir. His heir's got 15 martial, which isn't bad, but he is 29, I suppose. So, but yeah, he's not too bad. Wrathful, lazy, gluttonous, skilled tactician, a reaver, and a child of a concubine. So his line's very secure and in good position. Up here we have the Yardom of Rashka, which belongs to Duke Alexander Rasputin and his very angry looking wife. He has got 4 children. His son, Nikita Rasputin, who is a twin. He's also a child of a concubine, and he's rowdy. So things are going well there. Does he have any vassals who are custom characters? I don't think he does. Count Ake, who is, yeah... These are all Serbians, and then he's got an Orthodox Bulgarian as a vassal as well. We need to go back to this, actually. No, I don't think he's actually got all these lands for himself, so he doesn't actually have any vassals, which is interesting. Next, we go into Falstead, where we have Jarl Uthig Larsson, who is very decent diplomacy-wise, decent intrigue, very decent inheritable traits, as we know, and he's had a hell of a lot of children, just like his father before him. Let's have a look at his heir, Lars, who is comely. He's also got another son. He's got 3 sons. Wow, handsome and fecund. Wow, yeah, amazing stats. Does he have any vassals? I think he does. We have Chieftain Orvar Larsson. Oh, so he's landed... well, that's like his cousin or something by the looks of it, who is a berserker and got an amazing stewardship, 19 stewardship, so I'm guessing he's going to be the steward of these lands. And then in Vinland, we have Count Berger, who is 21 stewardship. Wow, maybe he's the steward actually then, because he's very impressive. And he does have a son as well, Helgi, who is still young, too young really to write home about. Ah, yes, and that's the one, it was Chieftain Aros, wasn't it, who was obviously blood-eagled by the Larsson family. Next, Odin Riff. I think we actually have a Catholic Norseman there, which is interesting. One person who's gone the other way. But there's not really much else there. Then up in the Yardom of Croatia, we have Jarl Klas, Gunnar's young son. Gunnar, who was our former diplomat, of course. He's decent learning, to be fair. He looks a bit of a mess. He's in a bit of a state. He's been in the wars by the looks of it. Let's have a look at his son and heir, Carl Claesson, who is decent martial-wise, to be fair. 6 martial by the age of 6. That's not bad, to be honest. Can we offer a guardianship for him? We're actually very good in martial ourselves, so we'll take him on ourselves. Why not? And his vassals, we have Countess Helena, who is the daughter of Ragnar Bloodaxe. Everyone remembers Ragnar Bloodaxe. And she has 2 sons. Boleslaw, her heir, 13 martial, not bad. 15 years old, yeah, it's not too bad. And another brother, who's also, he's okay. Nothing too crazy to write home about, but he's okay. And then I think in Leica we also had a custom character, wasn't it? Yes, Count Malesian, who is very decent intrigue-wise. He has got a son and heir, Petar, who is nothing too amazing, but he's okay. He's got some interesting stats. Next, the Yardom of Fjalaland, which is basically Bosnia. Jarl Gun, who is very impressive with his intelligent trait, but he is infirm, which sucks, because that lowers his diplomacy by 3. That's really annoying. Thankfully, he has had a son and heir, Aniluf, who is quick, so that's not too bad. Better than nothing. He's pretty all-rounded at the minute, so it's too early to see what would be good education-wise. Do we have a custom character here? No, just a random Croatian. Count Domagoj. Was he a custom character? No, he's not pinned, so that's a no. In Sigridsford, we have Chiefess Angela, who, yeah, isn't a custom character either. Chiefess Lovakor. Then Verbis, I think this is a custom character. Yes, Count Refa, who is quick, bossy, honest, and shy. Hasn't got any sons yet, of course, because he's only 11. It was him whose father was very impressive, Count Floki, who unfortunately died very young, annoyingly, because that's typical Crusader kings. And I don't believe that you're a custom character, so that's fine. We've got the Yardom of Makva, Duke Vlad II, some young Serbian who did take it from Duke Vlad I. And then we, of course, have Slovenia last but not least, where this bitch has once again usurped this land. It's like the third time she's done it. Every time we land a custom character here, they get unlanded by this absolute whore. Right, County of Zagorji, Count Ragnar. Wow, what happened to you, Ragnar? You've been... Oh, wow, and you've actually converted, which is interesting. You converted to a Christian religion. Interesting. You do have a son, Frederick, who is hale and comely, so he's pretty impressive and decent marshal as well. Not bad at all. It's a shame that you have converted, though. Can we demand you to convert? You might accept. We'll try. We'll try. Over in Poziga, we have, yeah, just a Croatian guy, and then I'm pretty sure we have, yes, Ogajan, who has also converted to Christianity. Interesting. How's his son and heir? Ingrid. Oh, that's daughter. Oops, it's got that helmet, threw me off. Gaspar, who, Croatian. Right, so they've actually changed culture and... Actually, they might have been Croatian from the start now I think about it. I can't remember, you'll have to remind me, but he's not too bad to be honest. And that's all of the land really that we've caught up on. Apart from our Bulgarian land, but that's not custom character, so we don't really need to worry about that. So we can actually finally get into the episode. I'm sorry. Apologise people who didn't want to sit through all that, but there was a lot of people who wanted to see all that stuff and see how their characters were going. So we can negotiate an alliance with Chieftain Loki, our brother, so we will do that, as well as Jarl Aslak, our brother, the Jarl of Venice, so we'll also do that. We can create the Kingdom of Sardinia. We can usurp the Kingdom of Serbia. I'm not going to do either of those for now. We have too many duchies held. We're going to keep... Oh, we're going to have to give away Sardinia then, unfortunately. We are going to have to give that away. We'll give that... We do have one county still to give away there. It's a shame that we can't land our son there and give it to him. I think it's because we've already landed him. Our other son isn't overly impressive, so I don't really want to give him land either. What about one of our nephews? One of King Sigbjorn's sons. Sven's pretty impressive. 17. Decent learning. Got a very intelligent bride as well. We could give him... Could grant him the title of Sardinia. I think he'd make a very good overlord if he had his own lands. Yes, let's give him the Chiefdom of Galora and the Jarldom of Sardinia then. Perfect. We'll pin him as well, because he looks like he could be a very good future king. To take us more down a different route, a more civilized route in the future if he was to become king. We can now unpin King Sigbjorn. Not important now that he's dead, of course. We're not endorsed by our priestess, so we do need to do something about that. Let's see if we can send her a gift, see if that improves it enough. I don't think... Yes, it has actually improved it enough. Perfect. So at least we don't have to try and waste swaying her. We do have some vassals that absolutely hate us. So let's have a look who the worst ones of those are. Pretty much all of them. That's not good. You hate us the most, Jarl Bjorn II. So let's try and sway you. It's annoying that they all hate us because of our short reign. Yet the thing is, most of these people must have voted for us because Asbjorn won the vote in an absolute landslide in his favour. We've got low county control in quite a lot of areas, so let's... Now you're already trying to improve that. Let's promote culture. I'm pretty sure some of this land hasn't yet converted. You know what, let's do it in Sardinia. Let's start converting Sardinia to Norse culture. I think everyone else is doing pretty much stuff that they should. Yeah, converting the faith, disrupting schemes. Yeah, everything else is fine. Right, let's have a look at this war that we're involved in then. How much manpower do we have down here? Not a huge amount, to be honest. Our son is leading this host. I find it amazing still that we're actually... they're fighting... I know, the army of Felstad, so we do have an ally in it. And then we've got the Black Band, our army. So I'm guessing we've got a couple of mercenaries. How much manpower does the enemy host have? Is this the enemy army? They've got 3,500 men. We've got 9,000. Right, okay, so... Yeah, we could call up a couple more men, and we've got a lot of allies involved in this. Jarl Halfdan, Jarl Halfdan. So why does he hate us so much? We've got an alliance with him. Do you know what, though? call up... I think we're going to might need an extra bit of manpower. So let's call up some manpower in Sardinia and then sail them over. What about the Holy Order? Ah, perfect. 3,000 men. Yes, let's hire the Holy Order. And we'll sail those over. I think that would be enough rather than raising our banners and wasting our own men. Let's use the Holy Order. Let's unpause. A faction targeting you has disbanded. A faction has been created against you. Your vassal, Duke Alexander, created the Independence faction. Well, that's not good. Can we try and sway you? Can we send you... Wow, that's a lot of gold that we're going to have to send to try and sway you. Instead, are any of your children... Your daughter doesn't have a match yet. Could we arrange a marriage between your daughter? No, we don't have anyone. What about your son? Rasputin. Can we arrange a marriage between your son? Do we have a daughter? No, just our tax collector. Do I have inheritable on those still? I do. You idiot. Right, here we go. This is better. So, right, we've got some daughters. He's only 7, though. I don't know if we have any young daughters. We've got a granddaughter who is 4. Let's go for her. Send proposal. Let's see if we can clear up that faction by getting an alliance with him. We do need to nominate our successor. Our son is the current favourite striker. Oh, no, that's just relevance. Let's look at vote score. Oh, no, he is the favourite. He is the favourite. So, do you know what? Yeah, we're playing as Asbjorn. He's going to vote for his son. His son's more than impressive enough to be a king, so we will vote for him. We're probably not going to be a king for very long, to be honest. I don't see Asbjorn living a long, long time. To the rattling Asbjorn, my faith is too strong to be swayed by your earthly words. I would rather attain my reward in heaven. I can't believe that we've got Norsemen converting to Christianity. Greetings, my charming liege. We are happy to accept your proposed education agreement. A noble upbringing for a noble spirit. Excellent. Greetings, my benevolent liege. I gladly accept your betrothal proposition. Your granddaughter Vidis will be betrothed to my son Nikita. Perfect. Hopefully that... Yes, alliance form with Jarl Aslak. Perfect. Hopefully we can form one with Rasputin now. With... Let's see. No, he's this land here, isn't he? Rashka. No. We're already... Oh, no, I don't think we are trying to sway anyone, are we, at present? So, let's try and sway you, considering you've got an independence faction. Try and sort that out. I'm pretty confident we could take down anything like that anyway. I'm going to check. How is our faith spreading now? Wow. It's spreading insanely well in our Italian lands. Pretty much all of it. Wow. Rome is now seen as a complete... pagan county, which is hilarious. And we've already converted some of this land over here. Wow. Oh, we've got a little bit of Catholic land there. We really need to sort that out. Can we get him to convert Count Gottfried? Demand conversion. He might accept. We could use a hook, but I don't want to give him that power. Oh, we can't anyway. Let's ask him to. What about the... culture? How's our culture spreading? Yes, all the coast Norse like we wanted. All of Italy Norse. Sardinia is still Sardinian, but we're going to try and change that. That's perfect. That's fine. What is taking the Joms Vikings so long to rally? I thought we were meant to get 3,000 men. There's not 3,000 men there. Let's put a commander in charge. We'll put the Joms Viking leader in charge of it himself, and we'll bring his 800 men to come and help out. Are we sieging 2 lands down here? No, we're just standing in the plains for whatever reason. Got a mosque there. Let's march that host to combined with our main host then, please. And it looks like we've got all of their land under siege. Did you have the thing that allows us to enforce demands at 90%? I don't think it does. Oh, we've sieged all the land. That's an ally army. Perfect. So, let's enforce our demands. To the vile King Asbjorn, may your humours rot in your living body. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. So be it. Perfect. So we've actually managed to take that North African land. I can't believe that we've actually taken some land there. That's interesting, to say the least. Asbjorn really was into that conquest and spreading out westward, wasn't he? He'd done an insane amount of that. We are going to have to give this land to someone now. Wow, over 8,000 manpower. Insane. Let's have a look who we could give it to our youngest son. Do we have any more children? No, just the 7. We could give our youngest son, who is 16 now, we could give him some land out there in North Africa. Why not? It's a long way from home, though, isn't it? Should we just give him both them chiefdoms? Yeah, there we go. Let's give our son those lands in North Africa and see how he does out there, all on his own. We'll keep an eye on the situation before we decide whether we want to expand anymore. And, oh wow, we can actually usurp that. So let's do that. Is that a kingdom title? No, it's a duchy title. Perfect. So yes, we will usurp that, which won't cost us too much, and we've got plenty of gold anyway. And we'll give that to our son now. Perfect. Grant titles. The Jarldom of Bajai. Perfect. Maybe he'll spread some lands out there. Who knows? You can cast your vote for the title heir. I thought I'd already done that. Cast vote. Yeah. Wow, 86 votes. Wow. Vote score. Is anyone else? Okay, our nephew has got quite a lot. And so's our niece, but she's Christian. We don't want her getting it. But it does look like it's going to be a landslide in Count Striker's favour. So that's good. I'm not too upset about that. The Holy Order dismissed. Yes. I'm not going to use up the Kingdom of Serbia. Not for now. Do I? What do we do war-wise? We do need to get people under control a little bit more. But we could go to war with Genoa because I don't think we'll have a truce with them. Italy, well, they've not got any manpower at all, have they? I was thinking about maybe getting an alliance with them, but I don't want to get dragged into their wars, to be honest. Just because they was Norse, but then again, we could help her. If we got a marriage pact with her, we could help her take her claims on those northern Italian lands that now belong to Genoa. And then we'd have a Norse neighbour in North Italy. That could work in our favour, but before doing that, I think there's a bit of more land I'd like to take. I'd like to take this coastal land here just to join our lands together. How powerful is Genoa? 400 men, and they're involved in several wars. It might be a good idea to take advantage of that then. So let's do that. We'll go through the holy... We don't... Your level of devotion is less than Paragon of Virtue. How far off are we? Oh my god. Miles away. What have you been doing, Asbjorn? You've got no prestige and no piety. I doubt we can do a holy war for a duchy, but that's about it. Let's have a look. Which we could go for that one, but it's not joint to our land. Could go for this tiny bit here. Okay, that would be a decent one to take. Duchy of Tuscany, Duchy of Pisa. That might be the best one to take, just to band our land around. Cost us 100 piety. What other wars could we? We could continue going eastward. Bulgaria is... Oh, not as weak. Bulgaria's actually improved a little bit. Serbia's, yeah, pathetically weak. I do want to take this bit of Italy, to be fair. I would... Then again, we've got the bottom island. Do we need both? Could go to war for Aquitaine. We could continue our expansion westward and take some of these islands. I'm not sure. Could go to war with this. Let's have a look what we can do with some of these North African areas. So we could declare war on you. Could we go for... Yeah, we could get that whole coastal land there, which would be interesting. This is a tiny bit. Is this who we had the last war with? Yes, it is, so we can't take that. But this is quite weak. 76 men. We could go to war with those and take... We could probably take, yeah, all of that and expand our lands there, which would be interesting. But I think I'd rather get the Adriatic under control first. So, yeah, we will go to war with Genoa. We'll declare war. Holy war for the duchy. And we will go for this one, just to finish off our coastal land. So, confirm, declare war. Let's move our rally point right on the border. Perfect position. We've actually got some mercenaries raised, which we're not going to need, and we'll raise all our men here just to end this war a bit quicker. It's going to be easy. We'll just get as much Genoan land under our control as possible. We will be staying tribal for now, but there's a good chance that we could go... we've actually got... have we casted votes in both of these? Yes, we've casted votes for Striker in both of those kingdom votes. That's good. As long as he inherits both, that's good. And your acquaintance, Berger, died. A person of interest. Oh, Berger of Vinland. So we'll unpin him. But his son, Count Helgi, is the new count. So, yeah, we'll make him important. Can we demand conversion? He might accept. He's only 2 years old. You would have thought we'd be able to demand him to convert. We'll leave it for now. We'll look into it a little bit more in the future. To rally our men, and then... Is this a Genoan army? No, it's not. No, it is. It is a Genoan army, so we could attack them straight away. We've got 2,000 men here. Where are they about to march to, then, if we can't get... Oh, no. That's the Genoan army. I'm just being stupid. Stay where you are for now, then, until our men have fully raised. How long have we got until they're raised? Alliance expired with Halfdan. An alliance formed with his son instead. What happened to him? He's died. I don't think he was important, was he? No, he wasn't a custom character or anything, so that's fine. We've got a new alliance formed with his son, which is fine. Right. So the army under the command of our son will send straight to that Genoan army. This army here, can we march onto this barony without losing land? Yes, we can. Perfect. So we're leading that ourselves. Siege leader. Was our son a siege leader as well? I'm pretty sure he was. Whoa, bit of lag. Yes, he's a siege leader. Wow, he's a siege leader, a forder, and a reaver. He's very impressive. They're going to try and retreat, but they're not going to get away in time. And the Battle of Spelita. Our champion Count Guthred wounded Lord Mayor Giacomo. And that's going to be an absolute slaughter. The king is there as well, so if we're lucky, we could end this war very quickly by taking him under our control. Which would be awesome. Yeah, an absolute slaughter. Valuable hostage captured. We captured the king. Well, that was a very, very quick war. Did we get any other hostages, or was it just him? Oh no, we've got a mayor who we can ransom for 30 gold. So we'll do that. And then we will enforce demands and end that war. That was, well, that was very easy, wasn't it? So be it. How did that battle go? We lost 94 men. They lost 837. So pretty much a slaughter, which is perfect. And that gives us that new bit of land. Awesome. The Jarldom. Ah, no. Duke Guy. Is that... No, Duke Guy the Second. It can't be... It can't be the same. I don't think it is the same. I don't think it is the same guy. Yes, it is. It is the same guy. Oh, that is awesome. He's the grandson of Duke of Jarl Kai of Capua. Oh, that is awesome. He's surely going to absolutely despise us. Yes, he is. Man conversion. Not going to work. What should we do with you? I can't believe that we've got him as a vassal. I don't really want to try and sway you. I doubt we'd be able to revoke your titles without upsetting people. Yeah, it's going to upset people. We'll gain 18 stress. Yeah, so we can't do that. Right, I wonder if we could arrange a marriage and get you a nice... Norse bride. Would that work? We've got a daughter here who's 19. Would you be interested, Duke Guy? No, not in a million years would he be interested in marrying our daughter. Oh, this is so funny. I can't believe that we've actually... Yeah, he's never going to convert with that opinion. It says he might accept it. I doubt it. Is he zealous? He's zealous. Yeah, not a chance. I can't believe that he's under our control. Who is under his control? A Prince Bishop. Interesting. And just a normal count. Both Catholic Italians. Disband our army. We're not going to be able to go with war with... Oh, is this actually rebelling land? At present. Does that mean that we'd be able to... No, we wouldn't be able to declare war on him without breaking the truce. That's fine. At least we've managed to take that little bit of land. Is this war still not over? We could go to war with Bulgaria to try and take some more of the land that we want south of this river. They are in open rebellion, but they do have quite a bit of manpower, to be fair. I'm quite interested in this North African land that we're going for. I think it looks very tempting. It'd stop these from getting more strength as well. We could probably do with doing some raiding, though, because our prestige is absolutely woeful. But we do have a lot of gold. Should we do a bit of raiding? Should we... Do you know what? It'd be fun. It'd be fun to raid Iberia, South Francia, and Northern Italy, wouldn't it? We've not really touched on them yet. How's the Danelaw doing? Wow, impressive. I can't believe how little prestige we've got. We would be able to do Holy War for this land, to be fair, so it wouldn't be too bad. It'd be so easy to obtain as well, just because of the lack of manpower that he's got. And it would spread our influence there. I'm not sure what would be the best option. There's always Balaton as well that we could go into and try and swallow up that land. High Chieftain. Still Catholic, though. I thought there was kings before, but apparently not. How much manpower does this king... Wow, 10,000 men. That's insane. They're incredibly powerful. Does this guy have any allies? He doesn't. Do you know what? It's just there for the taking, isn't it? Let's take it. Holy war for that duchy. Yes, declare war. It's just such an easy thing to take. We may as well do it. Why not? Why not indeed? Let's move our rally point over here for now. And we'll raise all our armies and take that bit of land. Some nice fertile land down here. And we're known for our dedication to the faith. Perfect. Our ransom's been accepted. I think we'll do a bit of raiding after this. We need to improve our prestige. The best gear. I am inspecting my troops today in their camps. I walk by some smiths who are in the middle of repairing some weapons and armour. Everyone says they work hard to ensure my warriors are outfitted with the best gear. Their hard work shall not be in vain. Yeah, we'll go for that. We'll gain ourselves a bit of prestige, which we need to do. Is there any interesting decisions that we could do, actually, to improve that? No, not at all. That's fine. Let's raise our men here. We've still got 11 days until they're raised. How many barons? I think there's literally 2 baronies here, isn't there, to take, so it's going to be pretty easy to do. So let's march straight onto that and get that under siege. We'll lead the army ourselves for our siege leader. Betrothed can marry. Our son. And you, yes. Send proposal. Perfect. Do any more of our children need matches, actually? Our son's already married. Yep, you're a chiefess. Our other daughter married. Other daughter married. Other daughter married. Yeah. Oh, we have one daughter lacking a marriage. Let's find you a spouse. Let's have a look. Inheritable traits. Do we have anyone in the realm? You don't have any inheritable traits, though, do you, to be honest? So it doesn't really matter. Who could we do? Let's have a look at our vassals. Who doesn't like us, and who can we try and form an alliance with? Jarl Halston. Let's have a look at you. You have got sons, but they are a bit older, so I'm guessing they're going to already be married. Unless you've got a younger son. Yeah, married. They're all going to be married, aren't they? Yeah, unfortunately. That's a shame. So we can't get you on side, which is fine. Maybe we've got some other vassals that hate us. Jarl Bjorn hates us. He's got a son, but he's only 10. I think we already tried to do a marriage with him, actually, didn't we? Let's take inheritable off. I think we did. Our daughter's too old for him. Do have a granddaughter who's the same age, who's a dwarf. So I don't think he's going to be too interested in that. Who else hates us out of our vassals? Who can we try and get on side? You, Jarl Larson. Well, you've always got lots of people with decent traits. You've got a 7-year-old son, an 8-year-old daughter. Arranged marriage. Do we have... We have a grandson, but he's only 5. Probably be best to go for the 5-year... Oh, yes, definitely. Arranged marriage between her and our grandson. Send proposal. Try what? Who else do we have? Need to try and sort these out. Jarl Gunn. He's 28. He's not going to have anyone who's going to be willing to marry. Jarl Aid, 36. All daughters. He has a 10-year-old son. Oh, no one's got any sons of age with our daughter to wed her off to. Let's just concentrate on this battle for now. Greetings, my benign liege. I gladly accept your proposal. Perfect. And they've ran their army away straight away, which is fantastic. We can get this war ended before this episode ends then. Let's station besiegers. March the army on. Holy Order hired. The Jomsviking have been called by the Italian Queen. Interesting. I would like to sort an alliance with her once we've took lands that we want. Once we've took the lands of Genoa that we want, these lands here, we'll try and see if we can form an alliance with her. That would work in our favour massively, to be honest. Let's station besiegers there and move the army back where they're going to be safer from attrition. Let's put... yeah, our son in charge of that, who's a siege leader, will be... unless we've got another siege leader. Do we have any others? Yeah, we have one here. I don't know who he is, but he'll do. And yeah, this is going to be very easy. We've just literally got it. I don't think there's any in these mountains, is there? Any baronies? Marshal impresses vassal. Count Refa gain 30% opinion of you. Perfect. And we gain prestige for it as well, which we're desperate for. The mercenary company disbanded. That's fine. Let's just get these sieges underway. End of this war. And I might just give this land to our son as well and let him carve out his own North African kingdom. Count Striker Asbjornsson. Finish the increased control in county. Perfect. Scandalous Priest. The Asatru world was shocked to learn that my Riksgodi Beata was discovered to be a cowardly and meek, a person who would rather cave in to the demands of others than stand up for what is right. While scandals among the elders are nothing new, it is disquieting for one to occur so close to home. Condemn her for her transgressions, defend her character publicly. I'm not spending prestige. We'll go with the top one and gain some piety, even if it does upset her. It's tough. You can always replace her. Actually, do you know what? She's shit anyway. Have we got a better priest with some learning? We've got Harold Bjornsson. Mershad. Ah. He could do. He's actually... We need to give him land, actually. He needs to get some new land. We need to pin him. He was from a family, wasn't it? And we've taken some prisoners in that siege. Perfect. Where does that put us? 53%. Can we ransom any of those? Yeah, we're going to land him. We'll land that guy in our court. Ransom, perfect. Got a nice bit of gold for that. Not as much gold as we could have done, but we may as well just ransom them. And this siege is about to fall any second now, which will give us victory. Outliving a child, High Chieftain Sigrid has been murdered. Oh Odin, how could you do this to Sigrid? I have sinned, why did you not punish me instead? She was blameless, my perfect daughter. Life had so much more in store for her. Who murdered her? Do we know? It was murdered by Holmfrid. Okay, it was murdered by a family member. Interesting. That's going to give us some stress, though, which is not good. We've had friendly exchanges, though, so Sigrid Mershad gained 20% opinion of us, so we'll start winning people around and getting them to our side. Duke Alexander has been swayed. His opinion is improved by 25%, which is perfect, and the siege has been won. Oh, no, this guy's done it again. He took the spy position again. It's so annoying. He did that before, yeah, and we can't sack him. Oh, piss off. Right, we can end this war, though, so let's do that. Enforce demands. Perfect. Disband all our men. And we'll give... Oh, we can create the duchy of this land. So we'll create that title. Yes. Perfect. Nice. 2 duchies in North Africa. We do need to give that away, of course, which we will do. We'll give that to the guy that we just pinned. He's in our court, so he's going to be easy to find. Here he is. Has he got any children? Yeah, he's got a son. Right. Grant titles. The chiefdom of Tanas and the yardom of Alga. Perfect. Look at that. Very impressive. Literally, as we work our way along. I wonder if we can take any more lands there. Once they've got enough power there, our vassals will take land themselves, which they have done in the past. So we'll leave them to do it themselves now that they've actually got a foothold there. But I think we will end this episode here, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you all very soon for the next episode.